Beloved, welcome to my diary. I'm so glad you're here because we are going to do some serious self reflection today. Some very serious, much needed self reflection, I believe, to see how we fit into an issue that I keep seeing being brought up here on these YouTube streets over and over again. Lots of content, lots of videos being made, lots of views on these videos, and thousands of comments on these videos agreeing and condemning and irate. People are upset that they've started to see a trend on YouTube these last 5 or so years where families are vlogging and including their children heavily in the content to the point where it's pretty safe to say a lot of these people are doing a kind of 24/7 role play gig with their kids where their kid is never really off the clock. It's always liable to be on the clock, even if they do take a break. At any moment, the camera clicks on and you're expected to be your character or be amicable enough to pass in the video. This can weigh down on children, especially because this means they're working really long hours. They're not really being compensated. This possibly often most likely goes against child labor laws, and their parents are raking in the cash and often not really spending it in any way that someone could deem wisely, right? The main thing with these family vlogs, we see them trend almost every month. A family vlog moves into a mansion, right? They often don't have even enough kids to fill every room. There's not really any point in them having a mansion besides, being able to gloat and look good and flex on YouTube. They're not really in any kind of situation to fill up these houses. It's very rare, I haven't seen one of them move into an earth ship, start homesteading, do a tiny house. I haven't seen it yet, but maybe there is a family vlog out there that did something like, we want our kids to grow up on the land, so we bought a farm or something like that. Haven't seen it. Most of what I've seen is people buying really decadent, outrageous houses and really kind of like not the best area. Like, I'm not sure why you'd move to, like, say LA to raise your kids specifically in a mansion on your salary, but that's just one of the things people are noticing, is that it doesn't really seem like the kids are getting things beyond what the aesthetic of the video needs. And then also the issue is a privacy issue, wherein a lot of people are noting that their faces are being put up. Now, faces, I can feel either way on that, but the issue definitely goes way deeper than just a face and a name. There is information like private trivia being put up. People may know at any point in your life, because it's online, when you started your period, when you got your first bra, when you started stanking up the house like a man because you're getting a little older, sir, when you ran around the house naked. In fact, there's been a lot of like kind of iffy content put up, videos, images. One that stands out in my mind, because I don't really watch family vlogs, one time I was scrolling through my timeline and one was recommended to me, and it bothered me. It was like a 7 or 8 year old husky young boy in nothing but his chonies, y'all. He was just in the little boy, I don't know, maybe fire truck, maybe, mutant ninja turtle, that type of look, type of underwear, okay? All he's wearing. And he's on the thumbnail of her video, and she's not like my channel where who's gonna see it? No one will ever see it because no one follows me except my close friends. It's not 2010. It's not a small channel. This is 2020. This lady has thousands of followers, hundreds of thousands of views, and something in me, as a victim of childhood sexual abuse, was really, really worried about this. Like, who's watching this channel just hoping that she puts a picture of her kids in their underwear on the thumbnail? Like, it just didn't feel very innocent. So I very much agree with a lot of the people who have expressed worry about these children. Whether, I totally agree with what you exactly are worrying about or not, I do think that this is something to worry about. However, this video is not about chastising people, because that's why I've made the video, because I see a lot of people in these comment sections, they're pointing the finger. You bad parents. It's these greedy ass parents. They're just pumping these kids out so they can make money off of. They're mad at the kids. They're just trying to use people. How did it come to this? What kind of selfish monster? From what hellhole did they bloom out of that they were just created to use their kids 24/7 and never let their kid rest and take all the money. And where did this come from? Y'all, I think that's why I said we need some self-reflection on how we perpetrated this issue even long before YouTube was a thing. Let's go back into our collective memories in media, cinema. Kids have kind of been here since the jump. Okay, some of the first pictures being taken were of children. Some of the most, famous actors in the beginning were children. And this is partially, I think, because when you're in the theater, you can put a man in a dress or a woman in some baggy pants or a shorter, smaller stature person, put them on their knees, and we will suspend our disbelief as we listen to a grown adult sing in high falsetto, pretending to be a child and, shuffling around. We will accept that. But in a movie, it just doesn't translate as well. One, it kind of comes off as a little creepy when you don't have kids in the movie and you have a grown adult who we're supposed to be seeing as a kid, but you don't see it as a kid. You see it as a grown adult. In animation, even if the little kid has a grown person's voice, you still see them as a little kid, maybe with a bit of a grown quality with that deep voice, but you can still see it's a baby because when you look at it, you see a baby. When you're in a movie, a live action movie, it just doesn't translate that way. And we still see this today because you'll know if they put on a teenage show and 30-year-olds, or actually, say, anybody 24 and up is playing that teenager, people are like, hearsay. Why are these old people playing teenagers in movies? I don't want to see old people. You have crow's feet. Get the fuck on. Why you want to pretend you still in high school? That's how we act. When we see, here in 2020, we see 30-year-olds playing teenagers. That is how we've come to expect media. That is how we've come to expect cinema. And this means that kids will absolutely thusly be called on to be in cinema, to be in movies. We have, Shirley Temple, Judy Garland. We know all the horrors these people went through, but yet and still we consider their stuff classics. And would you want to say that you hope that you wish the Wizard of Oz was never created? Most people still enjoy the Wizard of Oz, knowing damn well that she was being bound on her chest and it really hurt. That actually reminds me for Game of Thrones. Wasn't it the girl who was playing Arya started to get a little up in her head because she was starting to blossom as a woman, but her character was supposed to not be blossoming at all. Kind of a late bloomer, kind of more of a tomboy, a little younger. This is just something that child actors get saddled with because we expect to see children accurately in media. And this has continued on, right? It didn't really stop. We went on to really love family sitcoms. We really love family acts. We loved the Jackson 5. We loved, Happy Days or something. We love to see families, Bill Cosby, The Cosby Show. We love to see it. And we also love to see 2.5 Men. That wasn't quite the most appropriate situation for a child to be in, but it was a family sitcom, goddammit. And that's what we want. And then we mocked the kid roundly, right? When he became Christian and was trying to draw hard boundaries. He was mocked readily and resoundly, but nobody really wants to talk about that. But we're here pointing at these family vloggers where did you come from? Let's continue. Where did they come from? Because we were also ready to sink our teeth, hook, line, and sinker into family reality shows. We love the idea of two people coming together to create a family, even though should those two people from The Bachelor be bringing a child into the world? Should these people from Married at First Sight be bringing a child into the world? But we love it. We love it. We want to fucking create it. We're like, yes, get together and bone, beautiful people. And further, do you remember this the reality TV craze wherein every other reality TV show was children censored. This person has 9 children. This couple they married her and then they brought in their kid, and now we got 30 kids in the house. We've got polygamists, we've got everybody. Do you want to see like the Octomom? Do you want to see who's got what done what? She has 6 sets of twins, she's doing that. And there's shows premiering this fall that absolutely follow this same thing. Guaranteed somebody out there has a billion kids and she's about to get a show, and with her husband, most likely. That's typically how that goes. So you've got this situation where basically we have been sorry, my daughter needed me, but now I'm like, where was I think I was talking about the fact that we've encouraged this type of show, right? We encourage all these people with kids to be on TV showing themselves. There's Huey, Dewey, and Louie. We know all their names, we know who they are, and we even know who our favorite celebrities' kids' names are. We know it, and if they have some kind of fun name, we know it. And if it's our favorite actor or singer, we know who their kids are. Their kids are automatically boom, boom, boom. They're famous now too. It's a famous name now. They're going to be famous too. So we have highly encouraged this type of behavior wherein kids add to your brand, as in celebrities, as in reality TV, as in family shows. We've had this thing where kids are always being kind of given this opportunity into fame, and because their parents are chasing it, or because their parents are in this certain place at this certain time and they need to have the kid, it's just kind of worked out that way, hasn't it? And we have encouraged it fully right up until it came to the internet and regular people started doing it. And then we saw it firsthand, and we started seeing kind of the ugliness behind it. Not the ugliness like, here we are 100 years later. Did you know Shirley Temple suffered a lot of abuse? Did you know Judy Garland suffered a lot of abuse? This isn't like that, right? Because we can, oh, that's so sad. Back in the day, the golden age of Hollywood wasn't so golden. But when it's happening right here in front of you, when the person is uploading every week and getting more views every week, it rubs you a different way because it's right here fucking in front of you. It's not something you can dismiss as from the past. No, I just really enjoy watching The Sixth Sense. Yes, I know a little kid said that he could see dead people and probably didn't have that fully explained to him, and it was kind of a weird thing that he was going through in that situation, but I still like that movie. What of it? And he turned out, yeah, I'm fine-ish. Dakota Fanning turned out fine-ish-ish, and then we dismiss it with like Miley Cyrus and them, and we make excuses, and oops with Lindsay Lohan, and oops with Amanda Bynes, and you know what I'm saying? We have all these just like weird excuses for it, but then when it came to the internet, suddenly we can see clearly the rose-colored glasses have shattered, and we're like, what's going on here? Who's regulating this? What's going on? And should you be allowed to put your kids' face on TV? And I'm like, I think this is all a lot of different arguments. I think because you were okay with Dakota Fanning, because you were okay with Raven Simone, because you were okay with, who is that kid, Shia LaBeouf, because you were okay with, let's insert whatever names that you kept giving a pass for, I do think we've gotten to a point in the society where you do not get to be pissy and pick and nitpick and choose which parents get to put their kid's face in front of everybody flashing their name in red lights and which parents don't. Why? Because now it's so accessible to everybody, you really don't like it. Now it's like, oh, every kid. Now we've got Ryan's World, and we've got all these different kids from YouTube getting famous. And did they ask for this? Did they want this? Their parents are just using them. Remember I made that video about like Mindy McKnight and how her channel was just supposed to be about her doing hair with kids, but somehow it's turned into her natural hair. She has a natural hairline at Walmart, and she knows how to make the hair for all these people, and this thing's supposed to work for her kids with the blonde stringy straight hair and her kids with 4C hair that she's adopted. And yeah, somehow she's now the authority. It comes really quickly, and I do think these people are using their kids. She did not have views until she started showing off that she had adoptive kids. People love to see a white woman with a dark-skinned baby. They just love it, and they eat it up. And so I don't think that that's something we can stop. What can we stop? If Beyonce gets to put Blue Ivy in whatever the fuck she wants. If Beyonce gets to say that Blue Ivy wrote a song and put her in the Lemonade, visuals and all this stuff, is that bad? Is it bad that I know Blue Ivy's name? Is it bad that I've watched her grow up? Is it bad? You know what I'm saying? How are we drawing this line just because we don't like it when people represent themselves and do themselves online? Now, here's where I think you can catch these family vlog channels. I do think you can come at them from the labor portion. That is so legitimate. There needs to be some sort of policing, some sort of system where we can determine who is making their kids work overboard, how much content is allowed to be released with the children, how many hours perhaps, how many hours do they log in that they do. And of course, people will with grown people will overwork grown people, you know what I'm saying? So I do think people will use their kids and try and bypass this, but at least it would seem more illegal than it is now, which at this point, everybody who family vlogs, it's just like, oh no, it's just for fun. It's just our diary of our family. And so they feel like they don't have to say anything, even though they're making hella money and they're clearly making videos so that they can get the views, so that they can get the money, so they can fund the lifestyle, so they can continue the process. So I think the labor issue is exactly what people should be focusing on above and foremost. And if we have issue with the idea of children being online, I don't think family vloggers are the first place to turn to be angry and condemn, because it was the next natural progression for the internet to be the next platform for children stars. And we had, radio and I guess radio probably didn't have as many children stars, but we had cinema, we had film, TV, the movies, and this started it, and then we just continued it going, and that's really how it's been for about a century and plus years. It's been us doing whatever kind of we want, and the kids have to have child labor laws, just like kids who had to work in the factories back in the day. They had to nip that in the bud because it was just overworking the kids. I do think that that's what needs to happen here on YouTube, is there needs to be specific regulation laws pertaining to the internet. But as far as it goes, if you're not going to condemn Angelina Jolie because you know Maddox's name, if you're not going to condemn, Cardi B, Kylie Jenner, fucking the Jackson 5, you're not condemning any of these other things. And I'm not sure really where you're going to be starting to draw the line of distinction. Well, this kid had X amount of talent, and this kid's parents had this kind of money to be able to hire this person to be the manager, and this blah, 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 and then their parent was really acting like their manager, blah. It's always going to be gray area, just like it is in Hollywood. In the TV sphere, right? It's always going to be that gray area. So I do think if you really are concerned about family vlogs, just trying to shut family vlogs down in general probably won't get you very far. But working from the legal side of it, I do think that people have a real serious case. And that this is also an opportunity to really look at what we support. I never watched the shows with the reality shows with all the kids, but I know they have to have been popular because they just kept coming back to back, year after year after year. Somebody's watching this content. Somebody finds it okay. Somebody is out here every time a celeb posts a picture of their kid, they're liking it, loving it, calling it out. Oh, she's getting so big, blah, blah, blah. It's like, where's the gray line? Why is it okay for this person but not for this person? And who are you condoning that's this level of famous, but you're getting angry when Sarah up the street posts pictures of her kid because she knows his big bald head makes people happy. You know what I'm saying? It's just gray area for me. The labor is the true issue for me. The fact that the kids feel like they have to perform 24/7, that there's no set break time for a lot of these kids, is what really, really upsets me. People making their kids work, that's just something you see all over the world. It really is. People posting pictures of their kids online just for fun. People who share their pictures. You know what I'm saying? Like, were people angry at grandma because she used to walk around with pictures in her wallet size, and be passing them out and showing every which person and leave it here and leave it there and what have you? Maybe. You know what I'm saying? But this has all been naturally progressing, and it didn't come out of a vacuum. It didn't just pop out from nowhere. Family vlogs came from a very real place, and it came from us supporting content with kids in it and insisting on having accurate kids content, mocking every time there's a fake baby in the TV show instead of realizing the logistics of having an infant in the TV show. And also, I've done it too. My husband and I have done it too. Looking at the infant, that's not an infant. That baby's like 6 months old. That baby was not born. But do you really want to see somebody's newborn in a movie? We need to draw the line. We need to figure it out. What's the part where we want the realistic, and what's the part where we want to save the children? Where are we going with it? All right. That's what I have to say about the family vlogs for now, but I'll probably touch on this later. We'll talk later then. May your ancestors and spirit guides be with you at every crossroads, and I'll see you next time.